Howdy, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the first episode of 30 Minutes or Less. My name is Jonathan Feltner. I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Sitting down with my supper. Just got done making a run to the store. Had to get some things for the child, and I figured I'd pick us up some supper. I went and got Sonny's Barbecue, loaded tachos. So if you've never had them, I recommend them. And yes, I am the type of guy. Kid in there. I am the type of guy that gets an appetizer for supper. Don't judge me. I do apologize if my kid makes a little bit more noise than usual. He is in wrestling mode. Like me, he is an avid fan of wrestling, and he loves wrestling all the time. He's 24/7 wrestling. He's got like 800 action figures. He watches Raw, SmackDown. He's having a match with AJ Styles right now as we speak. So I've taught him well. I was actually really surprised that I had 50 views on my video talking about doing this, which is like 49 more than I thought I would have. So even there, I'm reaching goals. I thought really long and hard about what I want to accomplish out of doing this. I think more than anything, I just want to get my thoughts out past a Facebook status or anything as far as typing something down, because right now more than ever, so much is happening. I mean, there is so much that is happening in our world right now and in my life personally that I just can't confine it to 3 or 4, maybe 5 sentences on Facebook. It's a lot more than that. And I toyed and was conflicted about what to talk about. And the logical choice, seeing as how this is all we're dealing with right now, and that old saying goes, the lowest piece of fruit, the lowest hanging fruit is the most easily accessible. Sorry, you get the idea of what the quote is. But I'm going to just talk about what all we're going through right now, what everybody's going through right now. What I'm personally dealing with this CV business. The past month has just been nuts. Hold on a second. What are you doing? You want to come and say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his YouTube, Facebook / debut, John Boy.
Hey,
Tell him what your name is.
my name is Amboy.
And tell him how old you are.
I'm 3.
3. And tell him who your favorite wrestler is.
My name is.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
My favorite wrestler is AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. I'll go back in there and watch him, buddy. Got an AJ Styles fan. But, like I was saying, I want to touch on this just a little bit. Like you need anybody to talk about it. That's probably all you hear about. But it really has just hit me the past week how dominant this whole thing has been. I mean, you figure we've lost wrestling for the most part without fans, which is really the reason why wrestling is what it is. I mean, it's fans that make it that way. And we've lost sports, lost all that kind of stuff. We've lost every kind of sport. You can't go to the movies anymore. You can't go travel hardly anymore if it's not essential. Can't do anything, and it's just ripped us all to pieces. And it's made me appreciate what I had, especially back at the beginning of the year. It's been already a difficult year for me, and this right here is just, added to it. And starting in March, I was really looking forward to, having all these outlets. I was looking forward to going to the gym, wrestling bookings. I had a slew of bookings. For those of you that don't know, I have been involved in independent professional wrestling for the better part of 9 years. Actually, this year is my 9-year anniversary. I started in June of 2011, and I had a lot of goals that I wanted to try to accomplish this year within independent wrestling, and that's just it's on hold right now. And there's no guarantee, and there's no timeline on when it's going to come back. I mean, I think that whenever I was calculating it the other night, whenever I was sitting here not doing anything, just looking at the walls, I think that between the 3rd week of March and up till now, I think I've lost in excess of 10 to 12 bookings. And I'm sure that others, if you're watching this and you're independent wrestling, if you work, if you're a wrestler, referee, whatever it is you do, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's felt that crunch. And wrestling had become an outlet to me. It had become something that I looked forward to, and it was a way that I could make some supplemental income. And that's all gone now. And it's really just given me a new appreciation for wrestling and what it not only brought to me mentally, but emotionally as well. But it's still at the same time, it's given me a lot of extra time to reconnect with the family. And it's been really good in that respect. But still, I miss it and it sucks. But you just got to try to get through the hump and get over it. And we lost March Madness. Jeez Louise, sakes alive. I was looking forward to that tournament. I was really looking forward to see who all was going to come through that and be crowned champion. That's gone. No more NBA. NFL is, no guarantees on that. It even affects golf. When it affects golf, then you know it's bad. You know that it's an issue. NASCAR, even, for crying out loud, and just everything that we've lost. And that's not even the worst part. Now it's hitting people. It's hitting people's financial stature. It's hitting their jobs. I mean, I think what it is, 700 million small businesses have had to apply for SBA loans now because they can't make their payroll and they can't pay their overhead. And I think that there was an estimated $1 trillion that is going to be lost by the time all this is done. And that's just an estimate. That's probably gonna grow. And you've got people that have just lost everything. I've heard stories of men who have put 40 years into a retirement, and the first day that this stuff really plunged the stocks, lost their retirement. And it's a hard time in our country. It's a really pressure filled time, and it's just one of them deals where you just really appreciate what you had. And hopefully, when we do get this back, it's going to be a lot better. Excuse me. I really miss going to the gym too. I was averaging about 3 to 4 times a week in the gym, at least working 45 minutes at a time. I really miss my cardio. I was averaging, I think I was clocking maybe 5 miles in 60 minutes, which for me is not bad. But I really miss doing that. I'm going to have to get back to where I'm doing, something, even if it's, running around a block. I'm going to have to get into that soon. But just how this has just encompassed everything about our country right now, and it's all you see. And I have my opinions on it. Those are well documented. I don't think that this just happened by chance. No, I'm sorry. I don't think that it was just like, oh, well, one day, oh, well, there's a virus. I mean, geez, even a baby being conceived doesn't just happen by chance. I mean, it all starts with something. And I do believe that this started somehow. I mean, it wasn't just like, and I do believe it was allowed to happen. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's a full-blown conspiracy, but do I believe that it was allowed to happen on some level? Yeah, absolutely I do. And that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but that's how I believe. That's what I think. And until somebody can actually show me wrong that it wasn't allowed to happen, I believe that. But I guess I want to get that out of the way first. It's not going to be what this whole thing is, this 30 minutes or less. It's not going to be just talking about, conspiracies and the COVID and all that kind of stuff nonstop. No, I want this to be about different stuff, but I figured I would get that out of the way. That way we can move on to something else. Hold on a second. Tater tot. It's good. Well, and that's another thing. I miss like heck sitting down in a restaurant. I haven't sat in a restaurant since, I think, the second Friday of March. I think the last meal that I had was with my mom at a local diner in Livonia. We had Philly cheesesteaks. And you take that for granted. You take being able to go out and experience things for granted because this has just taken on a life of its own. And what we see on TV and what we see on... Sorry about that. Whoops. Anyways. Phone buzz knocked it down. I don't have, a Spielberg type setup, so that's just kind of what this is. But everything that you did in your life is gone. And I think that's what scares people, is because we don't know when it's coming back. We would like to think that it's coming back at the beginning of the summer. Have a lot of plans for the summer. Have vacations to go on, trips to take, things to do. And right now, you don't know if that's going to happen or not. And it sucks. I do think that there are some that's taking this to the extreme. There's a fine line between respecting it for what it is and not letting it drive you bat stir crazy. The only problem is that there's very few and far in between that are going either one way or the other. They're either scared to death, won't leave their house, and they think that everybody else just needs to stop. I mean, I travel a lot. I mean, I travel at least 2 days a week. You know, I'm in the steel manufacturing business. I'm an estimator, so I'm classified as essential business. So I go to Atlanta once, sometimes twice a week, and I see how people act down there. Nobody down there is social distancing worth a crap. I can guarantee you that. I mean, they might be wearing masks and stuff, but they're not keeping their distance. At least that's not what I saw last Friday. I mean, I was driving through a bunch of places, and I didn't see no social distancing. But I think you can respect what it is without letting it get to you too much. And I think that's what people are trying to work towards. But right now, it's crazy. It's just nuts how this has just uprooted our lives, and people, the words new normal come into play a lot, and I refuse to let this be my new normal. I mean, I'll abide by rules to an extent, but at the same time, I don't know. It's crazy. You're stuck in a hard place. I'm not gonna say I'm not saying I'm gonna go out and have a freaking gathering of 800 people or 20. I mean, I'm only one person, but at the same time, I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. But I do feel like that eventually this has to end. I mean, we're already losing trillions of dollars a day. The economy is, and I feel like if this goes another month or another 2 months, it's gonna get really bad. It's going to get very bad, a lot worse than it is now. So hopefully the right decisions can be made, and we can at least get on the road. Not full-blown go back into doing whatever we can do, because that's not going to happen for a long time. Life as we knew it in January isn't going to be the same for a while, but at least we can maybe gradually get back to that. At least being able to, travel to some extent and see people. Because vitamin A and vitamin D combats anything better. I mean, vitamin D, sunshine, I don't think that quarantining people in houses for weeks at a time necessarily does what they think it does, because, I mean, your body needs bacteria to build an immune system. I mean, heck, if you want to, they inject you with, a flu shot that has some aspects of the flu in it to keep you from getting the flu. So, I mean, and I'm not comparing this apples to oranges or whatever, but I don't think that you are doing any favors by just staying in your house all the time. But that's another story for another day. But kid texted me. Who's that? I'm gonna have to put him right there. I do apologize. I'm gonna work on the set. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so it's just if anything, it's a way for me to get my my thoughts out. It's just kind of where I'm at with it, and I miss my life the way it is. And some may say that is, kind of a bad way to take it. But I mean, this is America. I mean, at the end of the day, we're America, and we've been allowed to be, no country's ever completely free. You still have rules, but we've been allowed to do a lot of stuff for a lot of years, and then just to have it, turned on a swivel, it sucks for people, and it puts them in a bad mental state. But I feel like we're going to get through this. I do. I mean, I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be forever. I just think that the Lord is trying to teach us some things, and I believe that. I mean, you can't really say, well, it's a conspiracy, but the Lord's trying to teach you stuff at the same time. That don't really work. I mean, but He's in control. God's in control, and I do believe that He's trying to teach people something by allowing this to happen. And maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's a wake-up call to people, saying, hey, the end isn't as far off as you think it is. So we really need to kind of reevaluate ourselves. I need to reevaluate myself. This is kind of, giving me a little bit of a gut punch to really see where I'm at.
Hey, yo, Michelle.
What are you doing?
I want to say hi to that.
You want to say hi one more time? We're fixing to wrap this up. You want to say bye one more time?
Yeah.
Here, come on.
Let me mash that.
No, you can't mash the button yet. It's not time to stop. Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Tell them you'll see them next Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Let me see.
What?
Let's do it again.
Okay, say next Tuesday night.
Next Tuesday night.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
30 minutes or less.
30 minutes less.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
No, go in there and watch your AJ Styles before I turn it off. But I guess I said all that to say this. If you're still watching, you might be. I don't know. Probably people done turned the TV off or turned their phones off and said, "Freak that guy," and you have every right to do so. But take care of yourself. Be smart, but don't be completely scared to where you're afraid to move. I mean, being scared is not accomplishing anything. I mean, we were given a brain for a reason. We were given, some level of common sense. Just don't let this thing completely encompass you where you think that if you move an inch, that it's going to take a mile. It only takes what you allow it to take. So, next week, though, we're going to talk more about my soiree into independent wrestling and how I got started and some of the cool things that I've been able to do. And that's going to be next week's take. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try to have a better outline. I didn't really have an outline this week. I've been trying to move money, trying to keep the house afloat. I've got a 3-year-old to take care of, got a wife to take care of. So if you stop, you die. I firmly believe that. If you can't stop, if you stop, it will win. And I have too much riding in that other room in there to stop and allow it to beat me. So I'm hustling. I'm working. Thank God I'm allowed to work still. I'm allowed to make money, provide for my family, and that in itself is a tremendous blessing. So I'm going to go in here and finish spending time with them, get me some rest, go back at it tomorrow, and try to make tomorrow just as good as it was today, because every day is a gift. So if you're still with me, thank you for watching, and click the share button if you think it's worth sharing. And we will see you next week. This has been Jonathan Feltner for 30 minutes or less. Y'all have a good one.